the Dog Witch podcast, where we help you create happy, healthy, and relaxed dogs.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Dog Witch podcast. With me, your host, Elisa McCabe. Today I am here with a wonderful guest. We have Renee from Sagittarian Witch and Tarot. Hi Renee, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. It is so lovely to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me on. I've been looking forward to this.
No, it's great actually, and I'm so excited just to learn about you and what you do. Could you just give us a wee kind of intro to you and your business, please?
Absolutely. So, as you said, my name is Renee. I'm the witch behind Sagittarian Tarot and Coaching. I help women step into their radical authenticity and deep empowerment through tarot and witchcraft. So, I have a lot of different aspects to my business. I do spiritual coaching, I do tarot readings, I host witchy workshops and events. I facilitate a moon magic membership that helps people stay consistent with their spiritual practice. So, anything witchcraft, I'll give it a try. I like to call myself an eclectic witch, so that I can do a bit of everything.
That sounds absolutely amazing. It's so interesting. How long have you been doing this for, Renee?
About 3.5 years. Sagittarian Tarot has been in existence. Of course, I've been studying witchcraft for much longer than that, though surprisingly not since I was a teenager. Like you'll hear from many people, I actually didn't get into witchcraft until I was 40. So it's been about 7 years that I've been studying witchcraft. But like from the moment I started learning about it, I've been absolutely obsessed. So I've definitely found my home at last.
That's really quite interesting that you came to it kind of like kind of a bit later on. Like how did that evolve? Where did that come from? Where do you think?
I love sharing this story. So I actually learned about witchcraft through a news podcast,
Okay. Okay.
right? Which people always find so surprising, but it was October 2018, I think. And of course, they were having people on to talk about the rise of modern witchcraft because at the time it was becoming much more popular. But a lot of times when you see witchcraft portrayed in the media, at least like I'd say prior to maybe like 2015, they tried to make those people seem as weird as possible, and it was always a bit of a
Yeah.
joke, right? Like, look at these weirdos with their crystals and their pyramids, like, what a bunch of freaks. And so that's what I thought it was, right? But when they had these women on this serious podcast, they were, they were professionals, they were published authors, they were intellectuals, university professors. These were serious, smart women talking about
Mhm.
how witchcraft had empowered them to make their lives better. And, I love like Harry Potter and fantasy novels and stuff like that. So I always had this like secret wish that magic was real. And so when I heard these women using magic, using witchcraft, I was like, what is this? Can I be a witch? Am I allowed to do that? I didn't know that that was something that I could participate in because it had always been portrayed as something weird and silly, but these were serious women doing something really serious to make their lives better. And I was like, sign me up, please.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? Because as you say that there's that perception that yeah, people that practice witchcraft or whatever are a bit odd, a bit just stay in your lane type thing. But it's normal everyday things. And for me, becoming the dog witch, you kind of helped shape that for me because we had a conversation where I was a bit stuck with my business. I didn't like my business name. I didn't feel that it reflected me. And you kind of said to me, but you practice everyday life as a
Hmm.
witch. And I'm kind of like, what? And then you kind of pointed out the things that I do that made me a witch, and I'm a feeder. I love to feed people, I love to
Yeah.
cook and experiment, and that's all witchcraft, but people don't generally realize those things.
Yeah, I think that we're all walking around doing magic all the time and we just don't realize it. We don't think to call it that. We also have this perception that things need to be scientific and proven and there has to be evidence. And I think that this, centuries long crusade to detach us from our own inner knowing, from our intuition, from the wisdom of our experience has cut us off from our magic. And when we realize that even though we can now have scientific explanations for the things that used to be witchcraft, that doesn't make them any less magical. So, the love that you are sending to your dog through that intentional massage, that is a transfer of energy. So anything that you're doing to intentionally manipulate your energy, I consider to be magic. The essential oils that you're using, the plant magic that you're using to heal your dog, even the food that you're feeding your human children and your canine children, anytime that you're making that with the intention of love and nurturing, 100% magic.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah. I mean, I was a bit worried about becoming the dog witch like that, as you say. Like, would people kind of perceive me as a bit nuts and a bit woo-woo and kind of out there and not really serious? But more and more people are just saying, "Oh, I really love your name. I totally get it." Because when you speak to the right people and use the right language, they absolutely get it. They
Mhm.
totally buy into it. And you must feel the same with your business.
Yeah, the more I have been running my business and the more comfortable and confident I've become within that role, the more I'm in favor of actively repelling the people who don't align with your energy.
Yeah.
Be, as I say, radically authentic. Be 100% you, and anybody who doesn't like it, that's not your business. Get them out of your life as quickly as possible. You definitely don't want to be spending your energy with clients who aren't into what you do.
Yeah, definitely 100%. Because you just know, don't you? You can tell the ones that are into it and bought into it. Like I can tell the people that are really going to be into doing stuff for their dogs. And because a lot of people, I mean, we live in this age now where we want instant results.
Hmm.
But that just doesn't work when it comes to working with your dog. You have to do the work. So I know instantly if someone is going to do the work with their dog, if they love their dog as much as they say they do, or if they're just looking for a quick pill,
Hmm.
instead of doing massage, they just want to give their dog, like a quick pill to kind of resolve the issue. But a lot of it, it's just not the way. And you must find that working with humans as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that every once in a while I will get a client, usually somebody who doesn't really know me. So maybe it's at a market or something like that where they're just walking up for a tarot reading. Maybe they've never had a tarot reading before, and they expect witchcraft to be able to instantly fix their life. Right? You're going to
Yeah.
do this one spell and everything will change. But manifestation is actually intention plus action. And I think that the action part doesn't get enough emphasis. It's that you change your energy, you alter your vibration so that you make different choices, you take different actions, and those add up over time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And what would you say, what's the one part, or is there a few parts of your business that you absolutely love? Like what lights you up? What's the best?
It is really hard to pick because I love all things magical, but I think the thing that really makes my heart sing, makes me feel most aligned with my purpose, is when I see people really stepping into their power. And I know sometimes that can be seen as a little bit of a cliche term, but if you practice witchcraft and you feel that power surging through you, like you understand, you really understand what that means. It's like, He-Man raising his sword or She-Ra raising her sword to the sky, right? And that lightning bolt, it's like you feel that alignment, that power flowing through you. And so when I see people feeling free to make choices for themselves that they wouldn't have made before, simply because it's the thing that is going to make them most happy and it's what their intuition knows is right, regardless of what other people might think, that's my favorite thing.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. So how can you kind of guide us through like how that looks like? How do people work with you? What kind of how do you take them through that transformation?
It is a lengthy process, so I have a number of different ways that people can work with me. Sometimes it's just through coming along to events or workshops to grow your own practice. Sometimes it's through a 3 month coaching program where we will go kind of step by step through understanding different parts for yourself through astrology and human design, through shadow work and things like that. But probably the easiest to access way to work with me is through tarot. So I actually brought my cards today to show you. I know listeners won't be able to see them, but people often think that tarot cards make things happen, right? We see in the movies that the fortune teller pulls this tarot card, and then, like, I always think of James Bond, and there's that deck that's all lovers, right? So that means that he gets to have sexy times with Jane Seymour. But really, tarot cards are a reflection of what is within us. They help us tap into our intuition and to our higher selves, and they help us see what's really going on inside. I say it's like a mirror that's held up at a slightly different angle than you're used to seeing, and you can notice things about yourself that you wouldn't have noticed before, or it gives you permission to say yes to the thing that you want to say yes to, or no, depending on the situation. And so it's really about giving yourself permission to be open and honest as I guide you through a lot of questions, a lot of sort of interpretations to sort of unpick all the stuff that you've thrown on top of your problems so you don't have to look at it, right? We pull back all those layers so you can see what's really going on, what really needs to change. So, of course, it's very specific to each person, but these 78 cards are such a huge help in allowing us to ask the right questions that you really
Yeah.
need to sort of face up to in order to understand what's going on in your life.
That sounds wonderful because I've never, I don't think I've ever had a tarot reading. I've had like my palm read, and I've
Mhm.
been to like a spiritualist and things, but it's really interesting hearing how differently that works. And you can provide the tools, but at the end of the day, the people still need to do the work.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like you can, tell people all day long, this is how you should care for your dog, but if they don't ever do it, it doesn't make any difference. So it's really about giving people back their power, giving them ownership over their lives and giving them permission. It's so odd. This is something that still, happens to me. Like we need somebody somewhere to say, it's okay for you to do that scary thing.
Yeah. And I suppose that's kind of what I do with when people do the happy dog reset, I hold owners' hands like figuratively and I guide them through um and I say to them, it's okay, you're doing your best, and sometimes people just maybe don't think, for example, maybe adding some blueberries and bits of sweet potato into their dog's dinner is like food is medicine, so that's going to help
Mhm.
reduce inflammation in their body. And when you point that out, it's like a light bulb moment. It's kind of like, oh, right, okay. And I suppose you must feel like that too. Like, people must go, oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, all the time. And I think as well, like with the example that you gave, I think people expect that it's going to be complicated, it's going to be hard. And, we said there is a level of commitment and things like that, but sometimes you can't understand something until you do. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to be ready for that revelation, but once you see it, then it just creates this ease. You're like, oh, obviously, of course, this is the direction that I should be moving in. This is the thing that I should be trying. And it's not nearly as difficult as I was telling
Yeah.
myself it was going to be.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's the thing, isn't it? It's just about having that space, the permission, and then that guidance as well, and to kind of follow on. And I suppose, like me, you help change lives. That's
Yeah, sometimes, I still have, you may have seen in my face, this like little bit of shrinking when we talk about changing someone's life, but I have had people come up to me and say, you pulled one card for me at like a random networking event or something like that. And that one card changed everything. I went in a completely different direction. So I'm trying to embrace the power that I've received from the universe to help people have those revelations. And I do want to change the world. I do want to create a better world for all of us where we can all live in that radical authenticity and be our true selves because that is really, I think, the way to be happy is to be yourself.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, kind of going back to that conversation that we had, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be kind of going down the path that I'm going down with my business had it not been for that conversation with you, because I was very lost and I didn't really know my way in the world. I knew what I wanted to achieve. I knew how I wanted to help dogs. I just didn't know how to do it.
Hmm.
And then it was that one conversation, that light bulb moment for me, like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. And since I've embraced that and since I've just been me, my business has just become exactly what I wanted it to be. I've stopped listening to other kind of, I've shut out all the noise. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful thing. It really is.
It it's I think the most revelatory that moment when you really step into your authenticity just levels you up so much and sets you free and it feels so good.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously your passion for what you do and how you help people really shines through, but I've got to ask, is there anything in your business that you don't like?
I mean, I definitely don't love the constant churn of creating social media content.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of the what I term the boring stuff, the mundane side that
Yeah.
is not always super joyful, but it allows me to reach people and do the things that I really love. So, there are for sure downsides, and sometimes, I'm also an introvert. I love connecting with people one on one and in small groups, and I absolutely love hosting circles and Sabbath celebrations and connecting with people, but it also uses up all of my energy.
Yeah.
And then I'm just so tired the next day. So that's something I've been working really hard on lately is learning to manage that, to keep my own vibration high, to know when I'm going to be drained so that I can create space to recharge. It's taken a while to get out of that habit of needing to be, feeling the pressure to be constantly productive. Like giving myself permission to rest has been a challenge for me. All of my big three in my astrology birth chart are fire signs. So I'm go, go, go all the time. So I've had to really be intentional about learning to rest. But that's probably one of the biggest challenges for me is just figuring out how to build my energy back up after giving it away joyfully to other people.
Yeah, I mean, I find a similar sort of thing. I'm very much an introvert as well, and it's like I love connecting with people, as you say, like on that kind of one-to-one and in small groups. And obviously, I love meeting dogs. And sometimes the humans get involved, and I'm a bit like, I don't need to speak to you. I just need to chat to the dog.
Uh-huh.
No need for you to be involved. Um, but yeah, I find the next day I'm a bit drained. So what I've started doing is kind of building into my week is Zach, my dog, and I, we do Dog's Day Out, where
Hmm.
we go maybe on a Monday or a Friday and we have a Dog's Day Out. But I can double that up with creating, like getting content for, other things like taking photos and videos and things like that. But a day up in the hills just totally
Uh-huh.
recharges me. And it's two jobs in one because he's having an amazing time as well.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and then you can tell your family, I'm working, mommy's working today, and you're
That's it.
actually
Yeah,
out in
totally.
nature recharging. I love that. Yeah, I think our pets can be such a source of energy and inspiration. And I think dogs as well have this really wonderful way of reminding us what it means to be in the present moment. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
I know that some dogs are anxious. Mine is not. She's constant. Well, she's either asleep or constant energy, one of the two, right? But she's a pretty chill, pretty relaxed dog. But when I find myself like getting in my head about like something that's going to happen and getting really worked up and worried about it, and she's just on the floor like with a toy. I love when she's on her back, like holding a toy in her front paws, like
Yeah.
that's so cute. And I'm just like, she doesn't care about what's going to happen next week. She's not worried about paying the bills. She's just like, what other toys can I tear up? Where's the tennis
Yeah.
ball and how many times can I chase it? Like she's very in the present moment.
Yeah. I mean, you're so right. I always say to people just be a bit more dog,
Hmm.
just live for the here and now and don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Because here and now is really all we have, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So tell us a wee bit about your dog. You kind of lit up there when you were talking about her. What's her name? What's she like?
Yeah, my dog's name is Evie. She is a rescue. We recently did a DNA test for her because my husband has been wanting
So
this for
exciting.
years, so I got it for him for Christmas. And so we always suspected that she was part collie, and she is. But we learned that she's also part German Shepherd and Labrador Retriever. So
Oh,
she's a
wow.
medium-sized dog. She has this beautiful, like, kind of golden hair that, however, also because of that collie bit, sheds like mad, and it's like the stuff that just floats on the air and then piles up in the corners of your house.
Lovely.
It's insane, but yeah, she's a really chill dog. She is great to like take on walks. She loves to go out into the woods and run around and chase squirrels and pick up sticks. But the moment that she is in sight of a tennis ball is all she cares about.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I suppose having a mummy that's into witchcraft would certainly help her. Do you find that you kind of do things with the dog, like maybe without even thinking about it? Because I know I certainly do with Zach.
I mean, I have definitely let her pull tarot cards before.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I'll have them out on the bed and she'll jump up and I'll be like, all right, pick a card. And she will inevitably pick something really happy, like the Sun card, which is the most joyful card in the deck. You know, she's just like, she just always helps me remember to relax, tap back into the here and now, and just enjoy myself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I find with Zach, if I've had a really full on day, he's kind of like, tapping the paw as if he's looking at his watch, going, come on, when are you getting out? That's a really good reminder, to take time for yourself and just take time out. And they're just amazing at being able to help us ground ourselves as well. So that's been an amazing chat about your business, Renee. How can people what are you working on just now? Like, how can people work with you, find out about you?
Well, at this exact moment, I'm getting ready to launch my tarot course that starts on Sunday. So that might be before this podcast comes out, but there will be a Tarot for Everyone 2.0. That's the working title in September. So this is going to be another 6 week small group course, and we're going to go to sort of the next level with learning to understand how cards work together, how to really connect them to questions, to weave more insightful readings. So it's going to be a little bit more in-depth tarot course coming up later in the year. But also, I'm always open to clients who are interested in a tarot reading, or if you want to work with me more in depth, we can look at your astrology and human design charts, or we can go full in for Reclaim Your Magic and really help you get back in touch with what lights you up most in your life and really finding that radical authenticity and sort of turning the corner to embracing your magic fully.
All sounds absolutely amazing. And I will get links from you, Renee, and I'll add them into the show notes as well so people
Great.
can contact you directly. But that has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been great.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for listening in to this podcast episode. I will be on next. I'll be chatting to you about the intricacies of dog massage. So take care and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the latest edition of the Dog Witch podcast. Don't forget to tune in to our next episode soon.